To me, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Haha, I'm worth it. Feel your vibes, people. We are still on dating conversation, skills, tips, strategies, know-hows, ways to. And this is no exception. This is the third video in a 5-part series. If you haven't seen any of the others so far, go back, catch the replays, no worries. And there's 2 more to come after this one. So this is my 5-day challenge, communication challenge on all things dating conversations and living an erotic life. Here we go. So we are looking at having exciting dates, bringing more aliveness and erotic excitement to your existing current relationship, and also bringing more delicious moments to your general overall day-to-day life. Living an erotic life is something that has so many advantages. It's not just about bringing more sexy vibes into your life. It is that. And it's about bringing more of a sense of playfulness, a curiosity and imagination to everyday moments, to every conversation, so that when you come to an intimate dating moment, it's an easy bridge for you. It's an effortless segue into just being, I'm just going to up my sexy vibes because I really fancy this person. And it's not a stretch. It's just an effortless extension of a vibrancy that you are already carrying within you. Okay. So just to check, how many of you know about Esther Perel? If you know about Esther Perel already, then well done you, because she's a total queen. And she defines erotic intelligence as having a sense of play, curiosity, and imagination. And I really resonated with that definition and wanted to bring that into an extension through life into dating conversations. So how do we do that, and what have we covered so far? So using this erotic life approach, we've already looked at the confidence to approach somebody you fancy, initiating or instigating a conversation, interaction, DM, whatever, with somebody who you think is really attractive. We've also looked at the secret to juicy dating, mating, and life overall. So this is that quality of carrying the vibrancy with you, that sizzling confidence just bubbling gently with you all the time, within you. And in this video, we're going to look at making the magic of using stories to uncover whether there is actual resonance or connection, whether you click and it's worth continuing with. Because if you are not a good fit, it ain't worth having. Hands down. Save yourself the time, effort, pain, frustration, all the things by already feeling into from the beginning the good fitness, the clickness. All right. Okay. So I'm interested because day 3 of this is really looking at the story of a person. We create stories around ourselves, around other people, all the time. And that's okay. It's cool. No worries. It's just your brain navigating reality and trying to make sense of it all and kind of taking all the pieces that it has and jumbling them into some sort of narrative and going like, that's probably it. I feel safe now. And the brain needs to do that, and that's cool. But what can happen is that we can invent a whole storyline about someone based on the way that they look that might not be congruent with who they actually are. So let's bust a myth. The myth is that you can tell who someone is just from the way that they look. We're talking like Tinder swipe left, swipe right, no bio, no nothing. You're just like, face, go, face, go, face, go, face, go. It's kind of fun. I've done it, given it a go. And it's not to say that attraction, a physical attraction is not important. However, we must hold these things lightly because it's a total myth. Okay? You've heard the maxim that you can't judge a book by its cover, right? And although many of us still do, I know I do, I'm highly design oriented. You don't wear clothes like this and not care about design. Although we do still judge books by their cover, that's why there's so much money poured into making attractive covers for books. That's why we spend time grooming and coiffeuring and makeuping or whatever it is that you do, plucking, shaving. You know, it's part of why we do those things. The same goes for people that the outside is not necessarily a full indicator of the inside. And you can find yourself misled if you rely on the cover too much. So there's a couple of pitfalls here. Sorry, I got a really itchy nose today. I'm going to assume it's allergies because that generally is the case. So the pitfalls are that getting bedazzled by the wrapping and not taking a few breaths to uncover some of the plot lines inside this person, some of their narrative, some of the who that they are, can mean that when you go a bit deeper and you find out a bit more, there's a disconnect. And this disconnect is a horrible feeling. It's a really horrible feeling. I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. Extending yourself way beyond what you are comfortable to maintain. So you spend too much time, effort, money on your book cover and you're like, I'm perfect. Well, you're going to come a cropper because once all the lights are on or once they get to know you a bit more, you're not going to be able to maintain this facade that you have shoved to the front of your being and kind of, what's that word? Glamoured the person with, and now they're going to feel that disconnect as they get to know you better because you've presented something that's actually not realistic for you to maintain the entire time, right? So you're going to fall off your pedestal, if you like. I know, ouch, right? It hurts. And this isn't to say, this really isn't to say that making an effort is not important, that extending into your best self is not a good idea. Of course it is. Of course it is. But don't let it be a facade behind which you hide everything else. Allow it to be a optimistic extension of where you're heading, including some bits that you've got in the bag, right? So you hold it all a little bit more lightly. It's kind of like the equivalent of, because we're doing everything on video and everything on Zoom these days. It's kind of like you've got your Zoom on, you're on the computer, you're in a meeting, and you've made one section of your room look one less than a quarter. One corner of your room is immaculate. The rest of the room is pure chaos. So when they come around to your house, there's a disconnect. And how we present ourselves is kind of the same. Honey, no one has all their shit together. That's just a fact. We're all a learning, evolving sense of self with chaos, with bits, with baggage, with stuff. And it's okay. And it's absolutely okay. So it's finding that light touch way of putting your best self forward and yet not creating a facade. Okay? So let me take a moment here to share a story. So I was using one of those platforms where you like swipe left, swipe right, right? And super hot guy I was attracted to. And then we started doing messages back and forth for like a couple of weeks or whatever. And in that time, he was flirting deliciously in every way. And I just thought, oh my God, this guy is giving like all the signals that he's exactly the kind of person I really fancy, like, connect with, click with, or so I thought. But once we met in person, that playfulness, confidence, and mischief that I was so attracted to evaporated. Just poof, gone. And it turns out that he had carefully crafted and curated an online persona and a confidence he could only do in writing, and was unable to sustain it in person. And you know what? Honestly, I felt cheated. I felt lied to, which is one of the least attractive things ever. It's like massive turn off. And I really didn't, there was nothing there. It was just like, well, this is awkward. And I know his intentions were good, and yet the outcome was that there was a massive disconnect with reality once we came to meet in person. And it did leave me feeling that I couldn't trust him. That what else would he pretend to me? What else would he lie about to me? Even though he wasn't intending to lie or be a bad person, but it makes me feel in the sort of deeper recesses, what else would he pretend and lie to me about? What other facades would I encounter within who he is? And I'm left with a feeling of not being able to trust him. And, you know, that's quite a big deal when you're first connecting with somebody. And if you're looking to maybe find a romantic partner, trust is a hugely important basis on which to build any sort of intimacy. So try this. In your dating bios and your first impressions, share something that's actually true to who you are. Of course, make the efforts, right? Do some of the things that, I didn't just show up on this live in my pajamas, because you're worth it. Baby, you're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth making an effort for. So I made an effort for you, of course. And yet I'm sharing something that is true to who I am, which is that I've got an itchy nose today because my allergies are up. That's just true to who I am. And I'm going to assume that you're a good enough person to not think less of me for having an itchy nose while presenting. Because I'm a human being, right? So, yeah, that's an example. And in your bios and your writing that you put on your dating profiles, include some of the bits of you, ways of speaking, something that's true to you, a hint of stuff you're interested in, so that there's an easier bridge here once you start to connect, and you don't have to worry about hiding anything. I carry this phrase with me in my back pocket, and I love it so much. I picked it up less than a couple of years ago from a friend of mine. And it is that shame cannot survive the light. So whatever it is that you're afraid of someone finding out about you, reveal some of it straight away. Let it be coming in, so it's not something you're holding back, using energy you could be using to connect in order to hide something that you feel ashamed of, by letting some of that just be present and be okay that they've seen that. Because if they're going to get to know you better, they're going to get to know that anyway, right? Shame cannot survive the light. I find it a very useful phrase. And so here are a couple of prompts that you can play with. You can play with these in dialogue, essentially. So if you want to signal interest in their story and finding out more about them behind their facade, what's the summary of their narrative, if you like, you could ask them, what do you secretly geek out about? And if geek out isn't your word, essentially what we're asking is, what do you get passionate about, exciting about? But ultimately, when we're asking somebody, where do they lose sense of time and space and just be in their happy place, right? Which is, as I call it, geeking out. So find out where they get their joy from, yeah? And if you're signaling transparency to somebody, you can say, I'm a such and such kind of person. You can also say, my friends will tell you that I'm a such and such, but actually I'm a blah, blah, blah. The truth is So you can use these sort of structures to share a little bit about you. So your friends will tell you that I'm a show off. And the truth is that I am. The truth is that I am a show-off, but it comes from a sense of really wanting to hold and look after the whole vibe of the room. And as somebody who can and enjoys doing that, it's sometimes a very useful place to have me in the vibe. So, and I really love it. I absolutely love it. I love holding the room. It's why I'm a coach, a facilitator, a performer. It's part of my natural innate joy space. And that's telling them something. They're going to get information from what I've just said that allows them to have a sense of expecting that from me, right? I'm no shrinking violet and I don't stay quiet. So if they're wanting the quiet life, then I might be a bit too vibrant and loud for them. That's good that they know that. So in summary, bring some realness and wholeness to who you are. Otherwise, you can end up like an album with just one good song. I'm showing my age here because I still listen to albums and I still think of life in albums. But if you only have you're like a one-trick pony and you've put that one trick right up at the front, you're going to fall over. You're going to fall off your pedestal and it's going to hurt. Or they're going to fall off your pedestal that you've put them on because you've gone, you just look perfect to me. Perfect. Not true. Doesn't exist. And instead of finding out more early on, you go in, give them all your trust, and they break it because that was obviously going to happen because you put them on a pedestal. Okay? That would probably be my tip of the day today. So think about, where's the balance, the fine line between your best foot forward and something that is also just being yourself? And this is in your written bios, or in your speaking interactions, or in your DM chats, wherever. But your first impression, how can you be that beautiful mix between best foot forward and also just geeking out, being you, warts and all. I'd love to know. So pop some of your observations, insights, reflections into the chat. I'm really looking forward to reading them later. And there's still 2 more days, honeys. There's still 2 more days. So we've got 2 more videos to come after this one. And left to come, we have the knack of leaving a date when you know it's a no thanks. And I have clients who have found this so useful, so useful. And then the other thing is the art of taking things into more exciting and intimate places, whatever your version of that is. So those are still to come, those 2 videos. And for those of you who are catching this on the replay, there's also a series all about small talk. I love small talk so much. It really is the vehicle for connection. And so there's 5 videos looking at all the different stages of initiating conversations with new people, whether it's in work or socially or wherever. And they go from initiating all the way down to using questions to open up new ground, as well as getting out of conversations that you don't want to be in. So yeah, go and check those out on the replays on my feed. They're on my IGTV. And planning for September, so get it in your calendar, we have in the second week of September, we've got navigating conflict conversations. And this is a fantastic formula for moving through the stages of a conflict conversation stage by stage, and why this way of doing it actually allows both of you to feel empowered in the dynamic rather than finding yourself trapped in a parent-child interaction, even though you're 2 adults having a chat. So more on that in September. In the meantime, go well, and I really look forward to seeing you, hopefully, in tomorrow or the day after, but otherwise I'll find you in the comments. All right, fantastic stuff, people. And I'm going to close out with my theme tune from this series. Here we go, because you're totally worth it. Yes, to me I'm worth it. Baby, I'm worth it. Feel your vibes, know your worth. Off you go. Have some awesome dates. See you next time.